Welcome, this video is going to introduce you to the sketch space in Fusion. Sketches are the foundations of 3D modeling in Fusion, where 3D forms like this extrude here and the revolve begin with a basic shape as shown in the description there. So to get started, we're going to go to Create and create a sketch. Now we want to specify what origin or ground plane we want to be working, or plane we want to be working on. Is it this front wall, the side wall, or the ground plane? In this case, let's be selecting the ground plane. And now we can see our view has changed and we're looking down upon the document. Now the tools we're going to be going through and exploring is available in this document, which is available in the video description. And we're going to be drawing them just to the left-hand side of those descriptions. So to get started, I'm going to zoom in on the line tool. And to enter my initial sketch down the feature tree, so I'm continuing to work on that sketch, I'm just going to right-click and then go Edit Sketch. And so notice we now are in that sketch space where all these are 2D shapes compared to those 3D forms within the solid space. So going back to sketch. Lines simply draws straight lines whereby we can be going to create, then line, and specifying our different lines. So the starting point and the end point. If we wish to not continue, just press enter. We can also be, creating shapes by using a number of lines. Hovering back over the start, and it will shade in a light blue to specify it is enclosed. You can also create arcs if you hold down the click and drag to define an arc. Moving down is a 2-point rectangle and the hotkey is R. Otherwise, it's going to be available in the Create, rectangle, 2-point rectangle, and you're specifying the length and width. So your starting point and the end point. Next is center rectangle. So under Create, rectangle, center rectangle, and here we're specifying the center of it and then defining the length and width. Notice it's created these dashed brown lines. These are referred to as construction lines. And so we can turn any line into a construction line, whereby if we select the line we've created and go up to Sketch Palette and then turn on a construction line. And so construction lines are guides that don't form any part of a model. And we can change that back by going into our sketch palette and changing it back to form a path. We should then be able to drag up to the right and come to an ellipse. So ellipses are defined by the radius and then the depth. Center diameter circle, under Create, circle, center diameter circle, and then specifying that diameter. 2-point circle, the top and the bottom point of that circle. Now I'm just going to zoom out to show what we've gone through and been creating. And so with selecting in Fusion, you can be selecting a path, you can be selecting a shape, or you can be selecting multiple by holding down Shift. Other interesting things with selecting in Fusion, if I click and drag to the left, it's different than if I click and drag to the right, obviously the colors. So if I click and drag to the left, it's going to be selecting everything that it touches. Whereas if I click and drag to the right, it's only going to be selecting everything that's fully enclosed. Moving objects, you can be selecting it and generally be moving it from, if it's a whole shape, the midpoint, especially if it's a circle, from the midpoint, and other shapes, having it fully selected so you can go through and move a design. Lastly, 3-point arc. Specifying this create arc, 3-point arc, the radius, and then the intensity of the arc, center point arc, first point, second point, and then the angle of the arc. Tangential arc or a tangent arc, you're going to need to have 2 paths first of all, then going to arc and tangent and selecting the first point and the second point. And that creates a smooth transition between those 2 lines. Fit point spline under create and splines, and then fit point spline. And this works similar to that of the pen tool in Illustrator, where we can go through and create our spline and then use the handles to change the intensity of the arc and the positioning of those curves. By mastering these sketch tools, you'll be able to build a strong foundation when 3D modeling.